Today's video is sponsored on Patreon by Daniel Stewart. Wurmspeaker versus Atla Palani. I want ramp, so going to go down a card there. And don't get into any ramp, let's try again. Alright, not going to get into ramp apparently. We do have the Garrick there, which could be handy. Let's get rid of that, and get rid of the untapped creature as well. We are on the draw here at least, so hopefully we can get into double green. Do have some means of card draw here, thankfully. Okay, more card draw in Garrick's Uprising, so we could get something going this game with a bit of luck. A Harmonic Prodigy is going to double the number of eggs that Atla Palani makes. Alright, double green is excellent, so we can go for the Garrick's Uprising here. Our curve is going to matter here because we are somewhat behind thanks to not having the mana and the card draw and the ramp and all the rest of it. If a Worm tribal deck needs anything, it's ramp. Our opponent has all three colours, and that is an Illusionist Bracers, so really looking to take advantage of the egg tokens, and that does have prowess, so not swinging in at us, weirdly. Could have dealt 2 damage to us there. So now we could go for the Wurmspeaker. I think I'd rather just go for the Garrick here, to be honest, because this way we can actually ramp next turn, so plus on the Garrick, and we'll just hope that they can't swing in and take out the Garrick next turn. Maybe should have ticked down and just made a beast, actually. So there is Atla Palani, and still not swinging in with that thing. Can this actually swing in? Yeah, there's nothing stopping it swinging. Okay, Guy's Cradle doesn't tap for any mana at the moment. Yeah, definitely should have got down a beast last turn. That was silly not doing that. Alright, so floating 4 mana. Let's go for the Ancient Tomb. We'll play the Defiler of Vigour here. That will cantrip thanks to the Garrick's Uprising. Okay, draw into a forest. And we've got one floating, yeah, so we can go Gaia's Cradle. And we'll cast that by paying 2 life in addition to the other costs, so that means it only costs 3. And that is thanks to the Defiler of Vigour. Plus counter goes on each green creature we control, or is it just each creature? Yeah, it's each creature you control, so that jumps up to a 9/9 thanks to the +2/+2 buff, and yeah, we'll pass it there. Doing alright considering the bad start we had. I think the worst is yet to come from Atla Palani though. Lightning Greaves, so that makes it even worse. Triggers the Harmonic Prodigy, bumping it up to a 2/4, making an egg token. They're going to equip the Lightning Greaves, surely. Don't know why they play out the Lightning Greaves and not bother protecting their commander. They better hope that we don't get into a fight spell here. We draw a Witherscale Worm. So first thing we do is for a single green only, make a 4/4 Worm token, which is actually going to be a 6/6. That cantrips with the Garrick's Uprising. Gets us into a Cultivate, finally getting into the ramp. So then we go Gaia's Cradle, tap down the Ancient Tomb, untap both of those with the Garrick. And we'll just throw out the forest there. Yeah, tap down the Ancient Tomb again. We're taking a lot of life to that, but hoping it's not going to matter. Play Rishkar's Expertise. Wow, clear a whole bunch of lands off the top. Might as well make that a Sky Shroud Claim for free then. That'll bring in a couple of untapped forests. And then if we go for the Mana Crypt, we can get another creature into play in the Woodland Changeling. That will be a 2 mana 4/4, which will cantrip with the Garrick's Uprising. Actually, yeah, we can dump 2 life into that as well, can't we? Making it just cost 1 mana. Defiler of Vigour, going to trigger again, putting plus counters on all of our stuff. And I think we did cantrip into a forest there. So then we make 5 mana with the Gaia's Cradle. Let's just... yeah, we can get this thing down, I suppose. Pay life into that again. Okay, and there we've got a second harvest, which isn't as good as it could be quite yet. So we'll just go for the ramp at this point. Okay, so pretty disappointed with the draws from the Rishkar's Expertise, but I mean, it cleared a bunch of stuff off the top at least. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what they get into off the egg maybe, or do we just go for an Alpha Strike? They don't have a sack outlet yet, so going for an Alpha Strike is the thing to do here, I think. We'll get rid of a bunch of lands. The problem is they can benefit from a board wipe. They do want to wipe our board here, and they also wouldn't necessarily mind wiping when they've got egg tokens in play. This is how much to equip? 3 to equip. They're not dropping a land. Okay, Chaos Warping their own Illusionist Bracers, so that got them into a Darksteel Ingot. They're obviously struggling on mana, which we are far from doing. Making another egg token. The one thing we are missing is haste, unfortunately for us. We do get bolted by the Mana Crypt. Okay, a Natural Order. So, could trade out something with Natural Order. Drop down the Yavimaya, so that we can just tap this down for a forest and not take any life if we want to. It switches on the guy's cradle if we lose our creatures as well. Playing the Sandworm Convergence, dumping 2 life into that yet again. And then I'll untap the guy's cradle and the Yavimaya, float in a mana from the Yavimaya. Let's go for the Natural Order here. And I'll go for a Worldspine Worm just while we've got the option. Okay, a Garrett Caller of Beasts as well. I will tap this down before I forget. That will make another worm token for us. And cantrips us into Instill Energy, so that is going to untap our creature. So I'll put that on there. We can only activate this once a turn and only on our turn as well, so untap our commander and tap it down for a green again. Once again making a 6/6 worm. Okay, and the Great Henge, so tap down Gaia's Cradle, that gets us 7 mana. Gaia's Cradle will just put the 2 mana into. Then we gain 2 life by tapping that down. We'll play the Garrett Caller of the Beasts. And then I'll just go for the plus on Garrett. We'll try and get into some decent stuff. Try and keep our hand full. Yeah, we get 3 creatures there. Get some of our 3 mana worms. And we get the Penumbra Worm as well. Parallel Lives and a land go on the bottom. So with that I'll just go for the Nissa's Pilgrimage. And we're searching for 3 forests here. In a mono green deck, Nissa's Pilgrimage is better than both Cultivate and Kodama's Reach because we get to do this. So strip an additional land out of our library. Yeah, and I challenge my opponent to get into something that's actually better than what we've got now, so let's really start piling on the damage. They can't fly over us or anything thanks to the Sandworm Convergence, so obviously blocking with the egg tokens. Our stuff has trample, so they're not blocking a lot of damage. That is 5 damage they're blocking in total. With a Scale Worm is becoming blocked, so that does something. I'll look at that in a minute. Oh, the creature that's blocking it gains Wither, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't have any power. Plus that has a bunch of plus counters on it. Plus it has trample, so the minus counters will be removed from this thing when it lands damage on them. And they've got Ulamog, the Infinite Gaia. I mean, we can trample straight through it. They've got Blightsteel Colossus, which we can actually chump block as well, unless they can get blockers out of the way. We get rid of land, another land. Drew into a Mana Vault, by the way, thanks to the cantrip from the worm. Got the worm at the end of the turn, thanks to Sandworm Convergence. Kiki Jiki, there's a bunch of legendary stuff in play, so I don't know if we're necessarily worried about that. Oh, this isn't legendary. The Blightsteel Colossus isn't legendary, so also got his Atalpa as well. I think I missed that. Oh, Wrath of God. Alright, excellent. So, the Worldspine Worm is our protection there, but yeah, they might have us there. Got greedy with the attacks into the egg tokens. Should have known better than that against Atla Palani, but yeah, I think it was an interesting game regardless. We got to go off when we didn't have a very good first turn there. Definitely should have waited an extra turn, swung in at them then, but doesn't really matter. They could have gone for another copy of Blightsteel Colossus with the Kiki Jiki actually. Anyway, we get some worm tokens here. Yeah, still think we've got it. We just double block on the Blightsteel. So both of those swing in at us. The Ulamog, the Infinite Gaia, is going to annihilate a 4. We'll get rid of the Mana Crypt. We'll get rid of a land. Yeah, we'll just get rid of some lands here, I think. Got enough mana. So we block with the Blightsteel. That will get some effect damage through to us. If we chump block here, this doesn't have evasion. So it's just 6 infect damage coming through to us there. Or we could go wide on them, couldn't we? Yeah, if they've got a buff spell they could get us here. But we go wide on them, they don't have lifelink on this, do they? Yeah, it was a bad attack anyway, we'll just leave it at that and see if they can get us here. Bad attack on my part during the last turn is what I meant. Shouldn't have attacked into those eggs. There's no fear of the bolt from the Mana Crypt anymore either, thanks to the Annihilator. So we go down to 7 and 6 Infect. Get into a Voracious Worm, so we'll just go straight through and see if we can go wide on our opponent, because that will dictate what we do with the rest of our turn. They obviously block, they're going to kill off one of our worms here. And there we go, knocked them down to -2. I think they could have had us there maybe. If they'd gone for the Kiki Jiki onto the Blightsteel Colossus, they could have had 2 of these in play. And yeah, that would have really hurt us. Obviously they both survived to the board wipe because of Indestructible. But like I said already, the whole thing could have been avoided if I'd just been patient for another turn and swung in towards them. I dare say they might have gone for the board wipe anyway, in which case, yeah, maybe it was the right thing to do in hindsight, but yeah, I think they might have wiped the board, 1 to get rid of our board and 2 to get into all this stuff anyway, and then we wouldn't have had any blockers, so yeah, maybe it was the right thing to do in hindsight. We end up winning this one anyway, obviously. If you want to see more from the Baru Worm list, then be sure to let me know. Massive thank you to the patrons who so consistently support the channel. I'm tribalkai. Thank you for watching.